Hey folks, I'm Mike, and today we're going to talk a little bit about recycling old tech in order to use it for new purposes. This is the 4th generation iPad. It was released in 2012, and it has the A6X processor and 1 gigabyte of memory. Now, in case you don't know, the A6X is a 1.3 or 1.4 gigahertz dual-core processor. At the time, it was not a bad processor. It was very power efficient, and it will still get a lot of battery life, but it's not necessarily, it's a mobile chip. At the time, it was not the fastest chip on the market. Now, what inspired me to this, to see if I could take this thing and use it again, was that I have recently started a new job, and I thought, I would really like to have a mobile device that's not my phone that I could maybe take with me on, say, like a beach trip that I could do some of my work on. And I got to wondering, could I turn this into a work machine? And the answer is I could, and I did. But that's for a different time. Today we're going to talk about, can I use this device in order to edit video, which is completely and totally bonkers if you know anything about editing video. One of the advantages of iOS is that there are a lot of great apps out there. Now, this does not run iOS 11. This runs iOS 10.3. But you can still download versions of apps that run on iOS 10.3. One of the apps that we're going to be looking at today is called LumaFusion. It is a video editing app, and what it allows you to do is put up to 3 clips into a timeline, and up to 3 levels of clips into a timeline, and up to 3 levels of audio into a timeline, so that you can do some pretty complex editing. You can also add transitions, effects, things like that take a little bit of time to render, but can make give your video a little bit of extra splash. You know what I'm saying? It's a great little app that actually, on one of the more modern generation iPads, like an iPad, one of the new iPad Pros, the 12 point whatever, the 12 inch or the 10 inch, would be a pretty phenomenal video editing platform in general. But even on this iPad 4th generation, you still get pretty usable experience. It's not perfect. There are some things that just don't work, like the Dropbox integration on the 10.3 or iOS 10.3 version doesn't work very well. But all in all, you can put some clips in, you can put some music in, you can apply some effects and some transitions, and it is easier, in my estimate, to use than the native iMovie player on the iOS operating system. Now, a few caveats. This iPad 4th generation only does 30 frames per second in terms of its playback speed. So you can only render out 30 frames per second videos. That could or could not be a disadvantage depending on the type of editing that you're doing. But if you bump that up to a newer generation iPad, it's actually more than doable to do 60 frames per second, or perhaps even higher. I have to say, for a quick edit on the road, I can take this 6-year-old iPad from 2012 and put together a pretty decent edit. It's not bad, it's not awful, and it actually really kind of came together very nicely. So with all that said, you've seen me put the clip together, you've seen me give you the specs of this device. I'm going to show you the proof in the pudding. Here is the edit that I did. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.